Hey people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mary, and today I'm going to be doing a little health update. In my last video, I talked about where I've been at 8 months off of antidepressants and what's been going on with my health, especially in regards to finding out that I have endometriosis and that the Prozac and the inflammation that it caused in my body exacerbated my endometriosis because of all the inflammation. It's been about 3 months since I found out about the endometriosis. And in my last doctor's appointment in September, I was told that my left ovary had one larger cyst on it, a chocolate cyst, and that my right ovary was covered in endometriomas. And I went over all of that in my last video. And it really filled me with a lot of anxiety and fear because I haven't gotten to the place in my life where I am ready to have kids yet. I'm not in a relationship where I feel ready to do that, but it is something that I want to do. So finding out that kind of freaked me out. So I went into overdrive and really started focusing on my health, which I had already been focused on, but I went full force. So I just had my follow-up appointment from September. So I just had it this past week for like a 3 month follow-up just to see what things looked like. And in that appointment, I found out that my right ovary is completely clear. I don't know if there was like something happened in the scan and it was wrong, but there were three different people that looked at it, the ultrasound tech, the physician's assistant, and my physician, that all thought that my right ovary was covered in endometriomas. So I found that to be really interesting. Also, kind of annoying because that was the thing that scared me the most. I think it was really anxiety invoking to find out that something that can really affect my fertility was not on just one of my ovaries, but on both of them. So now we're back to just having it on the one cyst on the one ovary, which I found out about after the first time that I got off of Prozac in like 2022 to 2020, I think it was 2022. Um, so we found out that that cyst has actually grown a centimeter in the last 3 months, but my right ovary, whatever was going on with it, is cleared up. Over the course of those 3 months, I was able to ovulate on time twice in a row. And then I started in my last video, I mentioned that I was going to do some like food sensitivity testing because I've always had a lot of allergies and food sensitivities just to see if like that was playing a role in all of this. And it definitely was. So I had the 2 months of on time ovulation. And then that third period was actually about a week late. And that was because I found out that I'm really sensitive to peanuts and coconut. And there's a whole bunch of other things on the list from the sensitivity test that I took that I have sensitivities to that I need to do an elimination diet for. But the peanuts and the coconut, like correlated to my symptoms and the lateness of my period, like exactly. I started putting like the peanut butter powder in my non-dairy yogurt that I was having for breakfast in the morning, and I started noticing feelings like when I accidentally consume gluten. Now, I'm allergic to gluten, but I if I have a small amount, I'm not going to like die right then and there, but if I get enough in me, I can. Um which is, fun, but I started noticing that when I've accidentally eaten gluten in the past, like that same sensation happening in my body when I was eating peanuts. And this was before I got the results from the testing back. So I, when I would eat the peanuts, I would feel like super weak and I would feel super anxious and I could feel just like inflammation in my body and my skin, which as we can see, I am still healing from a flare up of acne. It really flared. My skin started like blowing up, like just all kinds of like pustules, and they were itchy, which also indicates to me that it's something that I'm eating. So I kind of figured peanuts might be something that's causing it, so I went ahead and cut them out just to see what would happen. And I had also been making a lot of golden milk, which, if you don't know what golden milk is, it's basically a coconut milk base. And you like put turmeric and cinnamon in it, and it's supposed to be really anti-inflammatory, unless you have a sensitivity to coconut, which I did. So that third period was really rough because I figured about the peanuts like around ovulation, and when I cut those out, because my ovulation was late, um, I actually ovulated 3 days later. And then my period was a little late because I was having like golden milk and all of that stuff. And I figured that out. And then when I got my test results back, those were two things that were lit up in red that I was sensitive to. So it was really kind of validating to see that like what I'm experiencing and getting symptoms from is backed up by the testing. And it just kind of gave me that sense of like, okay, I'm heading in the right direction, even though I feel like I'm walking around blind right now. So like with where things are right now, it's kind of like two steps forward, one step back, because it's like, yes, my right ovary is good. My left ovary, the cyst has grown. I'm still dealing with having breakouts and stuff like that, which I think is indicative of something going on with my gut health, clearly, because there's more food sensitivities happening. So, my next round of focus basically is to really work on getting my body to a place where it can detox and eliminating all of the foods that are on the list. And I mean, it's quite an extensive list of things that I have possible sensitivities to, and like they can be varying degrees. My body does not handle any kind of grains very well. White rice, brown rice, amaranth, corn, so like cornstarch, cornmeal, grits, just corn in general, popcorn, all of that was on the list. Dairy was also on there, which I had already kind of figured out. The peanuts and the coconut. I'm trying to think of what other things. Chickpeas. I was having a lot of chickpeas. Those were on the list, and that was something that I was suspicious of, but I don't think it affects me quite as much as the peanuts and the coconut. I can't explain to you how, like, the difference as almost immediately after I eat them, like how I feel in my body. It's almost like somebody put like 30-pound weights on all of my extremities, and like I feel like I have to move slow motion and my brain is moving slow motion. It's a really weird sensation. So kind of the next leg of my journey, which I'm getting through the holidays first, because I know good and well that I'm not going to be able to cut all this shit out completely during the holiday season. And Thanksgiving, I already had a flare up because my mom was trying to be super helpful, and she made me some dishes that I love dairy free, which I was really appreciative of. But it turned out the dairy free cheese had coconut oil, coconut flour, and oat flour, and like I had a reaction from that. It was still delicious. In my mind, it was still worth it. I still want to live my life a little bit. And my hope is that as I heal my body from the damage that's been done, that hopefully it'll get back to a place where it can kind of handle at least some of these foods sometimes, because it's really been taking a toll on my mental health and how I feel about myself, that I have to be so restrictive with everything I'm eating. And even though I'm not going full stop with eliminating everything right now, I'm trying to keep as much of it out as I can. And it's like I had corn tortillas, and like this big cyst popped up, and it just, not corn tortillas, corn chips. And I went out to dinner one day and I got broccoli at a restaurant, and it had butter on it, and so that contributed to this. So I've just been feeling kind of defeated and down in the dumps, but also trying to stay hopeful and keep myself on track, because I know that this is possible to heal. It's just going to take time, and there might be some frustration involved in that. Um, Another thing that's been happening is my blood sugar levels got down to like the mid 90s, and then they randomly spiked back up to like the 120s for a few days, and now they're like down near the 100 mark. I don't know if this is part of the process of my body kind of figuring out what's going on, and I'm just trying to create the best environment for that. So I am being really cautious of my activities and how they can contribute to blood sugar problems. I'm thinking about getting a continuous glucose monitor come the new year. I have a doctor's appointment on the 30th with my GP just for a checkup, and I'm going to talk to her about this and maybe see if I can get a prescription for it just to monitor it and see what's going on. So that's kind of where things are right now. And my plan for starting January 1st, which great, we'll use it as a New Year's resolution, I guess. I'm going to do the elimination diet full stop. I'm not even going to try to add in the peanuts and the coconut right now because I know how they react in my body, but I want to see if there are any other foods that are on the list that I can get away with a little bit of without a ton of reaction, or like seeing what can happen. So I'm going to do an elimination phase where I cut all of those things out. And during that time, I'm going to be doing things to replenish my gut. So I've been having an issue with supplements because a lot of the casings on supplements, I have a sensitivity to the cellulose and then also rice. And there's a lot of rice flour in supplements, if you didn't know. And sometimes the capsules are made out of rice flour. And so I've been having to do liquid supplements, and I'm doing them very slowly. Like I do the lowest dose I possibly can for like a week and see how my body's reacting. And then I take it out to see if there's any change. And then I add it back in and slowly bring up the dose just because I don't want to do anything that's really going to throw my body off right now. I really want to keep everything. I want my body to have as safe of an environment as possible to heal in. And I'm going to be working with my doctor on this, hopefully. So this is kind of the plan for right now. And I'm going to get liquid probiotics, and I'm going to try to start getting some bone broth in to help heal the gut lining. Um, as far as my blood sugar goes, I, I'm kind of at a loss. I'm really quite frustrated about it. 2 years ago, my blood sugar levels were completely healthy, like fasting glucose was in the mid 80s, and now it's kind of bouncing around between 95 and 120, which is just not ideal for my body, especially with my skin. Like it really affects my skin, my blood sugar levels. So trying to figure that out right now. And yeah, so going into 2026, things are going to be we're going to be buckling down. I'm trying to be celebratory of the fact that like at least one of my ovaries is clear and that my periods seem to be regulating. So the cycle that I'm on right now, because I cut out the peanuts and the coconut oil, is due to be on time for my regular 25-ish day cycle. 24 to 26-day cycle was typically what I was having before all of this started. So yeah, I'm just still trucking along, still figuring things out. And I've been having to learn that setbacks are learning moments, and it's an opportunity for me to find a better way to do something to help my body rather than it just being you're never going to heal, because my brain has been kind of going to that place recently just because I am frustrated with where I'm at right now. I don't really want to be I wish that I had known my body was going to react this way before I got on the Prozac, because I wouldn't have done it. And I wish I could have figured out sooner that the Prozac wasn't doing good things in my body, but I think it was just so nice to have my brain leveled out for a minute. So yeah, that's where things are right now, and I'm going to enjoy my holidays. I hope you enjoy your holidays too. Spend time with people you love. If you can't eat regular cookies and a ton of sugar, I hope you make the best gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, sugar-free cookies that you can, because that's what I'm going to be doing. And I will see you next year.